Hey, how's it going? It's Grant with the Garden of Eater. Unfortunately, tonight, Shelby is feeling a little under the weather. She will not be joining me tonight uh, before she has suffered through it and done, whatever she can to put on a smile and make it through the live streams before. However, I did not want her to go through that. We've got far too much going on this week, so I made sure she's laying down, getting some well-needed rest, because this weekend we are headed to North Carolina for the Aquatic Expo. We will have a booth there. Shelby will be aquascaping for probably 2 hours. I think that's how much she said. She's got 2 hours to do a hardscape only aquascape. And then between Shelby and myself, we have either 9 or 11 entries total in the international shrimp contest, which is not what I'll be talking about with Crypt Keeper tonight. Tonight's topic with Crypt Keeper will be about the American Shrimp Contest, which is the t-shirt that I got rocking on tonight. But that is an American-only contest, where the international contest we'll be going against people from Europe and all over Asia, as well as people in the United States. So I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm entering. I know I should. I just now entered in categories that I had plenty of tanks and extra shrimp, and there wouldn't be any issues or anything like that moving forward. And signups for that contest filled up quite fast. So I was like, I'm not even sure what's going to be of size on some of the riskier stuff. So I just entered stuff that I knew 100% would be available come contest time. So the American Shrimp Contest was, I think, like 3 weeks ago, not that long ago. And it had 43 entries from just American homebred shrimp. Each contestant enters 3 to 5 of their best, top, highest quality shrimp into 6 different categories. I have thought about this quite a bit. I do think we're going to add on another 2 categories. I'm going to send a couple of, we got a new YouTube member, messages out there and get a couple feelers and see if we don't have any more people that would be interested in a German Pinto category. So, Christy, I'm sorry. I don't know what video I should hit or play for you, and I don't have any of the messages to go about it. So I'm sorry, but please email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com, and we will send you a sticker. I don't even have the sticker on hand. It's not going well already tonight. But we'll send you a sticker and also a 10% off code to our website, tgoeshrimp.com. So back to the shrimp contest. Reach out to me if you've got any German Pintos that you'd like to enter in the contest. So far, out of the people I've reached out to, only one of those people keeps German Pintos. Mostly, a lot of the Caradina shrimp breeders, they keep the Boas, the Galaxy Pintos, and stuff like that. So I'm just not sure if there is, the want or need for that category. But I know there is some really nice German spothead Pintos out there. I think I entered in that category for the international contest. I'm not sure. I don't know what I entered anymore. All right, D's Fish Tank says, I have a question. Can ghost shrimp get buried in fresh water? So yes, freshwater ghost shrimp is a possible thing. However, there are 2 or 3 different varieties of freshwater shrimp that are native, that are all given like the same name as ghost or grass shrimp. There are some that can get buried, the eggs can develop, and the larva can hatch, and everything can grow in complete fresh water. However, if your ghost shrimp came from a pet store and you bought them as feeder shrimp, then it is more than likely that your Ghost shrimp are probably going to go through a 2-stage process where the larvae would go out into like brackish or salt water, and at that point, they would be eating different kinds of food, larvae, and be able to grow up from a larva stage into a shrimp, and then they would get big enough, strong enough to swim upriver back into the fresh water. So there is different types of ghost shrimp out there, and it's probably best that you focus on some neocardinas if you're looking for some feeder shrimp or something like that. They're just going to breed and have a lot more success than the ghost shrimp will. So, all right. Back to the shrimp contest. We do have a giveaway for tonight. I think I'll start that off here. We've got a photo of Sam Scales, an artwork print, and this is the shrimp artwork. Pretty much the exact same shrimp, or it is the exact same shrimp that is on the t-shirt, and it'll pretty much be the logo, I think, moving forward. I'm not 100% final on that, or if we're going to make something new. Sam isn't here to go over that, nor is the guy from Aquashella, but that is going to be the giveaway. Let me figure out this StreamYard / giveaway. I'll be able to get this. Just you wait. And then hashtag Scales. Don't hit it yet. Hold on. All right. I'm pretty sure hashtag Scales, SCALZ, is going to work for the giveaway. So that is for this print, and we'll get those shipped out to you. The winners of the other Sam Scales prints, we just got those shipped out, so you should be expecting those in the mail soon. All right. Christy, our newest YouTube member, asks, how long until you can actually see babies? I have had several mamas, but don't know what I'm looking for. So once the females are pregnant, it will take on average about 30 days for those eggs to hatch. If it's warmer water and you got a heater in the tank or something like that, they can hatch in like 25 days. If it's cold, you got them in the basement this winter. Obviously, we're in June now, so nobody's basement should be that cold anymore. But if you're keeping them down in low 60-degree temperatures, it could take 45 days for the eggs to hatch. After that, once the eggs hatch, I generally don't get too worried about the babies for the first 2 weeks. For the first 2 weeks, if the mother did a good enough job, she's going to release her babies into a little hide, a little rock pile, a little moss clump, or something like that, where predators won't be able to easily pick them off or anything like that. And the babies will have a good amount of food and stuff like that they won't have to move around. So typically speaking, baby shrimp won't move until they've had their first molt or two. And then after that, they kind of start scavenging and looking around to find little bits of food, and they'll move on to those shrimp food piles. So once the females are pregnant, I wouldn't worry until about 44 days or longer, a little bit longer than that, to see babies. But yeah, all depends on temperature. So hashtag Scales, we're giving away this print. It is one of 2 artworks that we are giving away. The other one is not this, but I'd like to bring this up also since I grabbed it. This obviously looks an awfully lot like this. Was drawn by my daughter Layla. She did not trace it. She just simply drew it by looking at the print and added on her own little flair with the plant work and stuff like that. But she's only 8 years old. I think she did a phenomenal job. Only a few mistakes here and there, but I'm going to get her to practice doing artwork on the boxes for the orders and stuff like that going out until she gets to a point where maybe even at the the Daytona Aquashella show, if we got enough room in the booth, maybe set her up with a little table and she can take requests and like do artwork and not charge people, but just get her practice. And so far, her favorite thing to draw is the anglerfish, but she likes taking requests. I think if somebody actually has something that they want her to draw, that's her favorite thing to draw. So I see Jamie asks if the American contest is USA only. It is the American shrimp contest. It does not say non-North American shrimp contest. So I think you could enter if you were in Canada, but I think they do want it USA only. But I would be open to taking Canada entries as well, since we are the organizers. I think we can make that work out. The contest this weekend, though, is opened up all over the country, all over the world. I think there's going to be breeders from Taiwan, Germany, France, Poland, or Holland, and probably a couple other different countries as well. There's 100 different tanks for the international contest. I think there's like 14 or 15 different categories for the international contest. So, hashtag scales, we got 38 entries. So it is working. I am doing something right. I was able to pull that up. Now, can I pull it up and share it with all of y'all? That is the question. So the giveaway tool, share on StreamYard. Wow, I'm no longer in the dinosaur age. I can actually figure this stuff out. So hashtag scales, we'll give that out in like 20 minutes. Remove that off the screen. Now that I got it to work, we are all good and groovy for the rest of the day. So besides the shrimp contest next weekend, we are doing a booth. We are bringing a good amount of Caridina shrimp, some Neo-Caridina varieties, not a whole lot of variety. The orders keep coming through, and the barrels and tubs are starting to breed and produce. But as the babies are growing up, the orders are filling out. So we are holding off on some of it's this weekend, not next weekend. Yeah, it is this weekend. I'm sorry. But as some of the tanks produce and the babies grow up, we are holding some of them back, so that way we can meet some demand and start some new tubs and stuff like that. We do have like 30 IBC totes on the other side of the house that are not plumbed, they're not set up or anything like that. I would like to get those running. And then the following weekend, we are going to speak at the Lancaster Club in Pennsylvania. So looking forward to that and seeing Scotty and Timothy, Crypt Keeper, and a couple other people in person for the not for the first time. I don't know. I was about to say that, but it's my first time speaking at that club. So we'll meet LJ's for the first time. Looking forward to that. I am not keeping up with chat, but Shelby is. I am here to answer all of your shrimp questions tonight. So if anybody's having any issues or just wants to move on with that next project and they just don't know where to start out, I'd love to help you guys get started. Also remember, we're halfway through the year this month, and you should have, if you're doing your 1 tank a month, set up 6 tanks or 5 tanks, setting up your 6th tank this weekend. Oh, Night Owl, looking forward to seeing you there. And you got to set up 12 tanks every year. So there's the $1 per gallon sale going on right now. I believe Pet Supplies Plus is also having their tank sale. So you got to get to the Petco, ourselves included, and buy some of those tanks, because a $1 per gallon sale is a doozy, and those other normal tank prices just keep going up. So Scuba Steve wants to know some Caridina breeding tips. So my best tips for Caridina are you have to go with RO water. You have to use and this isn't for tiger shrimp. If you're looking to do tiger shrimp, you can get away with not having to deal with uh, having RO water. You can get away with doing tap water in some neocaridina parameters. However, I feel like I gotta sit forward a little bit. My back's kind of killing me the way I'm sitting. I usually got Shelby to like lean half of my body weight on during the live streams to sit up straight. But with tiger shrimp, you don't need it. But with the bees, the hybrids, all the fancy end shrimp, you absolutely must have 0 KH in your water. And to do that, you need RO water. You could use rainwater, but there's just a lot of issues that can happen with rainwater and your neighbors spraying for pesticides and stuff like that can make their way in it. But your best way to do it is get an RO unit, mix your salts with GH only minerals, and keep things consistent. If you're not like that, if you're going through and doing your water changes every other week and you're doing 20%, make sure that the water going in the tank matches the tank water parameters. And the best way to do that is to keep a lid on the tank and mix your water the night beforehand. Don't just mix your water, stir it, and have it mixing for an hour and check it. Oh, it's good, and just pour it in your tank. A lot of the minerals won't fully dissolve for like at least 24 hours. So want to give them some time. But after you mix your water, you've got the right substrate, keeping everything consistent. Those are the best tips that I can possibly give you for Caridina. Don't worry about a heater in the tank or anything like that. Let them go room temperature and just make sure you don't got like a crazy grandma on the thermostat or something like that, making it hot and cold throughout the day. So as long as you're keeping things consistent, you should be good. All right, what's next, Shelby? I know I saw some other questions out there. Shelby's the one still pulling all the questions up and down. So I couldn't do this without Shelby. I'd probably be super far behind in chat. All right. So Jamie asked if I can cross a tangerine tiger with an orange eye blue tiger, what will I create? So pretty much anything crossed with a tangerine tiger, we call Tang Tai. It's a tangerine tiger hybrid, just because the tangerine tiger genes are so dominant and strong that majority of the babies are just going to look like tangerine tigers with like thicker stripes or almost look identical to tangerine tigers. So with this cross, theoretically you could make orange-eyed tangerine tigers, just knowing like orange-eyed yellow King Kongs and orange-eyed blue steels. None of those are actual true or purebred. They didn't catch those out of the wild or anything like that. So the only way to get tangerine tiger orange eyes is to cross and back cross with the orange eye blue tigers. You probably want to pick the ones with the least amount of pigment or stripings. So yeah, you either want to go like blondes or full on like royals, so you don't get the stripes. But that is doable. And then the other thing is if you added like some Aurora blue into the mix, you could get some orange-eyed green tigers. So those are some pretty neat crosses, but they're going to be mainly orange unless you add in something else or back cross it with the other blue tigers. So, all right, next one, Shelby. Oh, man. All right, Crib Keeper. Can you take a count for us quick on how many tanks you are at? If you had to guess, how many unique varieties of shrimp do you have? So if I had to guess how many tanks we have, currently we're up to 100, or not 100, I'm sorry, 390. At one point, we did get to like 392 because we had the little micro tanks on the counters. However, those are not currently set up. And with everything going on in the house, I think we're going to be at 390 for quite some time until we get the racks built in the bedroom or another rack here by the front door, because we are taking out all the metal racks in the house, because those I did not custom make to fit our tanks to get the most space and maximize efficiency and everything like that. So those have got to go. We're actually going to put them to use in the garage. So eventually, once the bedroom's set up with its 72 tanks plus a bunch of mini tanks, the rack is reset up by the front door to hold like 30 aquariums. The corner rack right here will hold, I think, 5 or 6 aquariums that will be taking off of the counters in the kitchen, and then we'll put terrariums back on the counters. So it's not like we're really making counter space or anything like that. But when everything's said and done and more tanks go up in the garage, we'll be well over 500 tanks. But we'll probably just be juggling the same amount of 390 aquariums for quite some time, because Shelby's got all of these fish on this rack and like all of those tanks. I don't want to like try and clean and get all the fish mulm out of there and turn them into shrimp tanks. And I'm either going to just completely gut them and put all brand new substrate in them and throw them into the fish room, or just move them as a whole and move them into Shelby's fish room. And once she starts having some live baby brine shrimp and other things like that, she'll probably jumpstart on all of her breeding of the Achilles and Gadeids and rainbows, pseudomcgills, and all this other stuff that she wants to get going on. But it's super hard for her to feed 90 aquariums when they're all around and mixed up within my 300 or my other 300 shrimp tanks. So it's a little bit time consuming just figuring out which tanks are fish tanks in the house, let alone feed them all. So to answer the second part of Crips Keeper's question is, how many unique varieties of shrimp do we have? Last I had to put them on a list, we were at 140. But if I wanted to, I could go, well, we have the Black King Kong Extreme. We've got Black King Kong 1 Stripe, Black King Kong Panda, Black King Kong 2 Stripe, Black King Kong Hino pattern, Black King Kong, Missouri. Like I could break just Black King Kongs into 7 different varieties. So it's like I could do that with reds. I could do that with pintos. There's a lot of things, but 140 just like standardized. Like that's how I would sell it on the website, is how many shrimp varieties we have. That's including the Peruvian shrimp that we got from Dr. Anthony, but not the wild ones that we got out of Florida that are also Machiobrachium, probably from the Amazon or South America, but invasive here in South Florida. 1 second, Jeff. All right. Jeff Kane says, I have a question for the Florida peoples. Does anyone know of a good place to stay for a week or two, campground, affordable hotel, motel during a good fishing and collecting season? So I think you're coming up on really good collecting season from now until like August. Obviously, it's like hotter season and stuff like that. There is like some good campgrounds that I could recommend, but like all of them you're going to want to avoid on like major weekends like Memorial Day, President's Day, 4th of July. You want to avoid these places like the plague. If you can, show up like 3 weeks before those events. Then that way, everything's nice and pristine before all of the college spring breakers and all this, tourists and everything like that flood the river and pollute it with all the trash and leave everything on the campgrounds. Jenny Springs is really nice. Besides that, I don't really know of anything. Everything I do is like camping, diving equivalent and stuff like that. Not too much fishing. But if I were to do fishing, I would go South Florida myself, just because they have all the invasives and everything like that. I would find somewhere in the Everglades, but I'm not the person to ask about that. So Zoltan's Aquariums asks, how many shrimp per category do you have to enter in the contest? So per group, you need to enter 3 to 5 shrimp. No more than 5, it will get you disqualified. Any less than 3 will get you disqualified. So say you enter 3 shrimp in the contest and one of them dies, well, then you are disqualified because the judges can only judge 2 shrimp. So if you entered 5 shrimp and 2 of them died, you would not be disqualified because the judges would still have 3 shrimp. Let's just hope your 2 ugly ones died and your 3 best ones are still kicking for the judges. But for that contest, I think we had 2 DOA and 4 shrimp actually died in the contest. So we thought we had another one perish, but we actually found that one when we went to go catch and bag up all the shrimp. So the green lilies were rather hard shrimp to find. Thought there's only 2 in the tank at one point, and then found the third one. Stopped looking. There. I don't know where I got unmuted or muted at, but I think I'm good now. Um, but not sure where I left off, but yeah, I'm not sure if it's the same rules for the American shrimp contest as the international contest, but I'm hoping it's still 5 shrimp. I need to go back and look at some of the rules and stuff like that. All right, Brandon asked, said I've got some low grade purple metallics. How many generations would it take to get it full purple metallic? How much longer for orange eye purple metallic? So making your purple orange eyes or purples into orange eyes is a different equation or possibility than just actually making uh like orange eyed purples from something else. The purple metallic is not an easy gene to pass on. It's recessive. So trying to get it to breed out and telling you how many generations, that's kind of like throwing a dart on a board. I'm not really going to be able to tell you accurately. It could be the first generation babies. You end up with 5 or 10 full purple metallics out of 30 shrimp. It could also be 1 or 2. And then from there, you've got to crossbreed and backbreed, and it could take you 3 or 4 generations. So that I couldn't really tell you. It could take 2 or 3 generations, relatively speaking, before you start to see an average amount of purples. But purple in general, and the reason why purples are still kind of pricey is they're so recessive. And I've not really tried to get too many purples myself. We've made several from scratch, but all the tanks that have made purples, like I get one really nice super purple out of like 100 shrimp, and then those purple crossing back, I don't really get that much better of a result. So anyone I've talked to with other lines, they kind of get the same result where not a lot of purple even shows up until they're fully matured, full 3 inches inside and showing some good metallic color then. But the orange-eyed metallic purple, I mean, that's chasing a different dragon altogether. You could be 3 generations if everything was perfect, but more realistic, you could do 10 generations and not get a good orange-eyed purple metallic. So you're probably better off buying some orange-eyed purples than chasing that dream. I don't think they're that expensive now. Like $25 a piece. All right. These fish tanks. Does having a bigger tank make shrimp want to carry the most eggs possible? No, I don't think it's going to make the shrimp carry more eggs. Maybe that's an experiment, but I don't think that's going to cause the shrimp to carry more eggs. I think the shrimp will carry more eggs if they're bigger. And having a larger tank will just, give the shrimp more water volume and a higher chance of having more stable, perfect conditions. And that overall is going to help the shrimp grow to a maximum size faster and hold more eggs and have a higher baby survival percentage rate and stuff like that. So having a better tank is definitely beneficial, but I don't think it'll increase the amount of actual eggs the pregnant shrimp will carry. All right. Free to play asks, what is your food feed cycle? So right now we're using a rotation of Shrimp Envy Foods, the Shell, Growth, Complete, and then we also have our Mineral Junkie and Shrimp Dinner pads from Glass Garden. And then we also have our Soy Ahoy and Bee's Knees. And then we feed a garlic food from Dr. Basilier's. And then the other food, we haven't really used it in a while, is the Nettles food from Crystal Shrimp Foods. And I don't know. I'd probably need to put an order and get some of that, or like reach out to them directly and start carrying that on the website. I don't know why I haven't done that. I think just because we've been using the Shrimp Envy Foods like religiously on rotation, I've kind of like forgotten about them. But it is a good, cheap alternative food. But we feed, generally speaking, every other day, depending on the tank size. The average, Shrimp Envy pellet, I'll break into like 3 pieces for my lower populated tanks. And then, some of my real heavy populated tanks will get 2 or 3 sticks. Shelby's got 3 Galaxy Pinto colonies that she hates to sell out of. Hold on. Hashtag scales. As soon as I'm done with this, I will be drawing for the Sam Scales print. So, back to the food schedule. Feeding every other day. Shelby's Galaxy Pintos will get like 3 pellets, just because those tanks are packed. Some of the other Tiger tanks, Tangerines, Yellow King Kongs, and stuff like that are just packed and will outbreed just about most of the Neocardinas as well. They're getting 3 pellets every other day. But if we've got a lot going on or something and we got to wait 3 days, it's not an issue. And if we've got to wait an extra day or something like that, just because it's easier to catch the shrimp when you feed them, so we'll space the feeding out so that way we're feeding on days that we catch the shrimp on Saturdays and Mondays. So thank you, Vibes, for the $1.99 super chat. Hashtag scales. This is the Vibes last second reminder. I got rid of the hiccups before the stream started, and they attacked me. Hiccup story coming on next. After we give away this shrimp, if I can remember it, anyways, it's not that important. All right, so going to the giveaway tool. 53 people entered, 54 people entered. That's the last second entry right there. Good luck, everyone. But everyone cannot have the luck. Only one winner. Who will it be? Congratulations, Abstract Aquatics. Please email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com with your email or your mailing address, and we will get that shipped out to you respectfully, maybe in the next day or so. But like I mentioned, we've got a lot going on with North Carolina this weekend, and we generally like to give away the week. Ship out the giveaways the following Monday, and we'll actually be home on time next Monday, since North Carolina, it is only a 8-hour drive instead of a 16 or 17-hour drive. So is Abstract Aquatics in the chat? I just want to make sure they're actually here. Maybe Shelly can find out or see. I looked just briefly, but I couldn't find anyone. So, or find a comment from them. But hopefully they saw that and we can give that away. Otherwise, we'll give it away next week. All right. So we do have another giveaway. And I'll be talking about that in a little bit. It is from a different artist. We're not all Sam Scales here. All right, Abstract Aquatics. Congratulations. Send us an email. Hopefully you already heard that. So, couple of things that I want to update before we bring out and talk about the other giveaway. Hats, we are running like super low on hats. I think I have one more of these and like three more of the white hats. So if you wanted a TGOE hat, get on it soon. We still have the moving sale going on because we haven't moved the racks yet. Somebody reached out to me not that long ago from Alaska asking for some Carradina calls, and they only wanted 20. Hopefully we're back. Shelby said no blue left. So white only. I thought there was one blue one left, and it was just small and not large. I don't know. But totally lost track of what I was saying. It's only an 8-hour drive. We'll get back. I don't know where I was at, but anyways, I do know one thing I do need to talk about, and all right, let's refer to Lady Diane first. I'm losing my Neos. Not sure what's up. A few couldn't get out of shell. Never had this problem feeding Envy, but not Soy Ahoy. I need to get some of They Don't All Croak. So food really isn't going to be the issue. Soy Ahoy isn't going to fix your problem. Generally speaking, I would need to know your water parameters. I know you're able to breed rainbows and all these other nice fish and cories and stuff like that. So the shrimp shouldn't have a problem unless you have like a water softener or your shrimp is possibly too soft. So if you could hit me with your GH cage and possibly total dissolved solids, and like if your shrimp run through a water softener, that would be helpful information. So I need to know more in order to help you. But on to the next one, or vibes with the $1.99 super chat. Said 60-gallon breeder. How many green shrimp? Well, for those that are wanting green shrimp, I do have green jades and green emeralds available just for y'all. I'm not putting them on the website. So the 90 people viewing right now, you get first dibs on the green jades, and then whoever watches this in the future, that is not. Oh man, the replay crew. If you made it this far, you also get access to the green jades. Just email me green emeralds as well, and we will be able to sell those and ship those out next week. I was kind of holding them all out in case I was going to use those for the international contest. I don't think I am, but just to be safe, we'll start letting those go next week. But to y'all, get first dibs before then. But we generally recommend 1 to 2 shrimp per gallon when starting out with shrimp. So with a 60-gallon tank, I would do 60 shrimp, but like honestly, you don't need to do that many. You can get away with 40 shrimp in that 60-gallon tank. You're just not going to be happy with viewing however many shrimp are around at all times, and it is going to take them a while to get to the point where they produce enough shrimp that you are happy with seeing green shrimp crawling around all over the 60-gallon tank. So Christy says not selling any fish. So I think on the website we do have the Celestial Pearl Danios still in stock. Did we ever get the Mountain Cloud minnows up on the website, Shelby? I'm not sure. We do have those available if you would like some golden Mountain Cloud minnows. I think we just took down the Pracox rainbows. I will be getting those back on the website. We do have some Shellies. I thought those were on the website. If they're not on our website, they've got to be on Vivi. I hope they're on Vivi. And there should be some plecos on our website. So if you check us out at tgoeshrimp.com, Crypt Keeper actually just dropped the link /fish to the fish on our website. We will also have a couple of varieties of guppies coming soon too. We got some fish from Mississippi Hippie from the aquatic. Man, I can't even remember the Louisiana show, and those are producing quite well, and we've got several other platies and swords and stuff like that. So we will also have, like Shelby mentioned down below, a couple different fish at the show, and we'll have room because we're not going to have nearly as many shrimp at this show as we usually do. It'll be more fish. All right. Aqua Bonita. Do you quarantine plants before moving to a new shrimp tank? I keep moving plants around and paying for it. Found a couple half-ground oranges in with my green jades. Hope they weren't breeding age. Oh, okay. I was like completely thinking like oranges, like the citrus fruit when I was reading that. So yeah, I get what you mean by the hope they're not breeding age. Yeah. The other thing is the greens will throw oranges, so they could just be green culls. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. The greens themselves kind of throw like wild type looking shrimp, so you can't really tell if they got into the mix or not sometimes. But we definitely quarantine our plants. Quarantining plants for shrimp tanks is a must. There are so many different hitchhikers that can come in on plants that I myself will let you guys know. Like in the description, if you buy guppy grass off of our website, chances are it's coming from one of our ponds outside. And because of the frogs and because of all this other, possibilities of the unknown going on outside, that the scuds, the mosquito larva, the dragonfly larva, the Dempsey fly larva, all of those things, Hydra, planaria, all these little hitchhikers that are actually really bad for shrimp have this just unknown possibility of being inside those ponds. So I do put a warning label like, hey, make sure that you quarantine this, hit it with the no planaria, hit it with the alum. Don't really recommend doing the bleach method too much because it kind of dilutes and kills off some of the plant matter. But the no planaria works wonders for us. We will have some guppy grass available that will be shrimp safe that you won't have to worry about quarantining. And then the other thing is snails. Like a lot of people don't like snails, so that's why up above we have started our snail-free section of moss and selling like that. Do you guys buy fish? So we don't buy imports. If somebody locally has fish that they bred themselves, I do. We do encourage that kind of resale through our website. So the Celestial Pearl Danios are all from Richard Reynolds, who I've seen in chat tonight. It's hard to keep up. There's also GK Aquatics, who's in chat. All of our Praycox rainbows came from him. These are two very reliable breeders that I know personally through our fish clubs and fish shows and stuff like that. And then we actually hold on to the fish for quite some time before we sell them. So I like to keep them for 2 weeks. And if nothing's died on my end, I don't see any reason why we can't let that go and sell them on the website. It's not like shrimp where you buy them and import them and they've got all the potential of having all the diseases and stuff like that that can affect our other crop or colonies of shrimp. So we do buy quite a bit of fish. All right, Lady Diane said GH is 4.5. I'm going to do parts per thousands, not parts per millions. KH is okay, but something in the water is eating pH. And within 3 days at a tap is 6.8, crashing to 6.2. So that can cause some issues with the molting. But the GH at 450 or 4.5, I don't think is high enough. If you could get that up to like 600, I think you'll have a lot more. I got to get a different plug, I think, for this mic. The mic itself is defective, but the slightest bump. So get your GH up to 600 if possible. Also, your cage is okay, but something is eating the pH. Chances are something's stripping your KH, or your KH isn't high enough, and this isn't having your pH stay stable. So KH is what keeps the pH stable in the Neocaridina tank. So if you don't have at least 300 ppm of KH, then that's what's causing your KH to swing. So if your KH is maybe 300 at first, but then in your water, you've got a lot of botanicals, leaf litter, or anything like that, that could be pulling out some of those harder KH carbonates, then that's what's dropping your pH. But adding some crushed coral into the water can kind of counteract this. But the best thing I would recommend is getting some GHKH salty shrimp minerals, and then adding a little bit of that into your water and getting your GH and KH up just a bit. It's almost there, but I think it could be a little bit better, and that's why you're having some issues. Hopefully that will solve your problem, Lady Diane. On to the next one. Scotty, my man, book me for like 9 to 11 o'clock for the aquarium on Sunday. I forgot it's Father's Day. I'll be waking up early. We'll just hit the aquarium. So just, all right, I'll figure out what your question is. Did you figure out what shrimp you're bringing to the ACLC? Have it narrowed down to a few types based on what you're taking this weekend to the Aquatic Expo, asking for Crypt Keeper Aquatic. So for the Aquatic Expo, I'm probably going to bring a lot of tiger shrimp, and then whatever Neocaridina we can possibly manage to scrounge up. I know it's going to be yellows, orange, black, rose for sure, a bunch of wilds, and I'll probably bring a couple bags of greens. Those will probably almost all of them sell. But if I sell everything at the Aquatic Expo, I will be bringing some Neocaridinas with me to the ACLC. But when I go to the ACLC, I will be bringing Crypt Keeper some greens that I had already talked about that I'd offered to everyone else. I have plenty enough to offer. Crypt Keeper has been waiting for quite some time. And I might bring some blues as well for Crypt Keeper. We'll just have to wait and see. So I think that's all. All right, next one. We'll see Crypt Keeper here shortly, too. Any background music, or am I all alone here, Shelby? All right, we got motion. I don't know what to do in these times of silence. All right, back to the agenda. I do have my notes. I forgot all about it. We do have another giveaway. This one's a blank one. I'm not showing you just yet. That'll be after Crypt Keeper's little shindig we got going on with him tonight. But stickers have been made. Saw what they look like. We do also have another surprise. We were going to announce it this week. However, it's not ready yet. Shelby is under the weather. She's not here to announce it. I want her to be up here as well with me. So we're not going to do the big announcement thing that I mentioned last week. But the stickers are done. There will be membership stickers. And I think we'll also have stickers that we will have with us for the event this weekend. Whatever is left over from the event, I'm sure I'll bring with me to the Lancaster meeting. And then if Scotty is hoping for some yellows, I can bring you a bag of yellows. No problem, Scotty. But we do have now the potential of people being a member on the YouTube channel for over a year, which is kind of crazy. A year has definitely flown by. It's been quite a productive year, I must say. And we have a little treat for those who have been loyal for the full year. I understand credit card payments and stuff like that. get canceled in expiration dates or whatever, and you've got to reactivate. So we will be lenient with some people and figuring out those. But Nano got the 12-month membership. Say yay, new stickers. All right, congratulations, Nano. See, that's what I'm talking about. I knew it was coming. So Nano, we've got something special coming your way. Make sure you email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com. Resend your address and let us know so we can ship out to you your special. I'm not going to break the surprise just yet, but you will get first dibs on that. I'm sure there's others that are in chat that will be able to get it very, very soon as well. If not this week, next week. And we will be home for next week's show. And then the giveaway. That's all I got. So what do we got? Any more questions, Shelby? What can you hit me with? Got nothing else going on up here. You got nothing to talk about. I can get Crypt Keeper up here a little bit early. But I did think that I saw more questions up above. All right, Crypt Keeper, come save me. I feel like I'm dying up here. There's no one here. I'm all alone. All right, well, I'll show and get started with the... Man, this guy can talk. I don't know what to talk about. I just don't want to hear silence. So Scotty says, are you staying at the ice cream hotel? I still don't know what hotel I'm staying at. So I will be messaging Joel to figure out if he knows and just forgot. I'm sure he's got a lot going on, but I'm not too worried about it because Joel's speaking. Joel's speaking at my club the following month. So if I've got a nightmare at your club, he's just asking for it, right? I would never do that, but you gotta mean like you gotta think it's out there, you know. So free to play said see you in Charlotte. Say some of the good stuff to the non-VIP people. I'm almost positive with how the other shows have been going. We'll have plenty of shrimp come time for the non-VIPers, and we'll be stacked with plants. So there will be a lot of plants, shrimp food. We will have 2 scape tanks, one from myself, one from Shelby that will also be selling. I think Harley from PNW Customs will be there as well, so it'll be a good little show. Man, I thought this was just gonna start rolling in. All right, Nathan asks, would you buy mystery snails local to you, kind of, sorta, further south from you? So I can definitely be interested in some mystery snails. Send me a price list, how many you got. We do get offers for mystery snails from club members quite a bit. They are one of the cheaper options of stuff that we do get. So but color and stuff like that plays into everything. So just depends what you got going on. So all right. Richard Reynolds asks, Grant, who is the June speaker at your club? So if you're looking to come up to the club this June, we have Dan Doherty, who is our speaker. I won't be there, though. I won't be there until July. This weekend when our club is going on, we will be in North Carolina. So Dan Doherty is the speaker, though, for the Pasco Club. He's kind of a legend in the hobby. Not a lot of people know who he is, but we have a lot of rainbow fish in the hobby because of this guy. He is an airplane pilot who, went great adventures and did things that I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about. And he didn't want to take the credit for those things because it would get him in trouble and he wouldn't be allowed to fly in that airspace anymore. So to stay under the radar, a lot of other people got credit for the fish that he discovered and stuff like that. But But Dan's such a humble, cool guy. I was really upset when I found out I'm the person that arranges the speakers, and when our speakers kind of dominoed and we lost out on a couple of speakers because of bass fishing tournaments and house closings and stuff like that. Dan kind of made perfect sense, him being a local. But I was like, I don't want to miss out on his rainbow fish talk. So his talk is mucking about in the top end or something like that, which is just basically his adventures in Northern Australia, which I'm really upset that I'm not going to hear his talk. But Dan's such a cool person that I'm like, one of these talk meetings, I'll just have Dan come over and I'll just cook some barbecue or something like that and have him over in one night, and I'll just hear all of Dan's stories and then some, and I'll get the unedited rated R version, and it'll be a little bit better. So I even bump it that time. I'm sad that I'm missing Dan speak, but he'll be back next year to speak on his rainbows. We've got Gary Lane coming to town, so maybe Gary Lane will come and we'll go out to dinner with Dan, and I'll get to hear some crazy stories and events in Papua New Guinea and stuff like that. All right. What do we got? Anything else, Shelby, before we dive in here to this week's segment? It is a little bit bigger than usual, so I am prepared to start it up a little bit early. So I already went over that. I don't think she meant to pull that one up again. All right, Crypt Keeper. I'll bring you up here in a second. Start it. I don't know if Shelby's meaning to do that or if it's glitching on my end. But oh, here we go. All right. Besides a rock pile and clumps of Java moss, is there anything else that you would like to add to an outdoor tub to help with baby Neo survival? Won't get any rain, so I shouldn't need to buffer. So as long as there's something in your tap water to buffer it, you need something like that to keep the parameter stable. So the KH, like I talked with Lady Diane, definitely needs to be 3 or higher in order for your pH to stay stable, and then you won't need anything to buffer. Oh, Shelby took it off. But the other thing I want to mention is the pond or tank or bin or whatever you're using needs to be covered, because if it's not covered and dragonflies get into the bin, the dragonfly larva will eat everything. So just make sure they're covered. All right, now on to the next one, Shelby. Ooh. All right, Amando Ocho. That's probably not right at all. I just bought what was sold as dark green jade shrimp from my local fish store today, and all the juveniles, and they're all juveniles, but they look like black roses. It was my first time seeing them in person. Should green jades be that dark? So green emeralds can get that dark depending on what kind of substrate you have them on. That is kind of why I recommend like a gray samurai soil substrate for them to kind of show like a little bit better of coloration. They do look their best on black substrate, but they can look so deep dark that they are black. For the most part, we've been selling all of the blacks as our green jade emerald green emerald culls. So there is a chance that you did buy somebody's black or green emerald culls from the local pet store, but getting them, they could be a little bit stressed, and stuff like that can give them a little bit blue or blacker coloration to them. So, all right. Now, why can't I? All right, here we go. It's time, everyone. All right. Shelby beat me to it. But how's it going, man? How you doing this week? I got the headphones on so I can hear you without any problems.
All right, cool. So how's
right.
your week going?
It's going. It's a little bit slow. I feel like I could have gotten a lot more stuff done in the last few days, but the kids are out on summer vacation. So now I'm playing with the kids and getting stuff done and not getting stuff done and more mouths to feed around the house the whole time. So it's a little bit more to do, but I enjoy having the kids around and
Yep.
uh, any tasks that I will let them be a part of, they're all in. So it is good to have them around the house for some of the things, but they like to man down this fort here during the entire day and watch their shows and play video games and just make it their comfort crash pad and stuff like that. So I don't get to work in these tanks and stuff like that. They're a little algified. I'd like to clean them up and get them looking good. So that's going to be one of the projects when we get back from Pennsylvania. But besides that, everything else is looking good. I did get all of your scores situated. So I don't think there's any Crypt Keeper question of the week to pull up, is there?
No, it was just a score review.
All right. So let's dive into it now. For those that don't know, Crypt Keeper entered 4 groups of shrimp into the American Shrimp Contest, right? 4 groups. I didn't miss one.
Yep, 4 of them.
All right. So he did place in one of the categories and then came close in one of the other ones. So we're going to talk about the ups, the downs, the goods, the bads of scorekeeping and stuff like that. So to keep the judges safe, we have not put any of their names written on any of the score sheets or anything like that, but I do have all of their individual scores and everything like that. So let's start it off with category 1. You were tank number 6. We didn't have you there to video everything like you had promised and said you were going to do. So
yeah,
you can't,
I know.
Bring up the pictures and everything like that. But
Sorry about that.
no, it's all good. We did have a local Dallas guy, Ben, went around, took a bunch of photos and videos and stuff like that. So if you're not part of the Shrimp Pimpin' group on Facebook, go ahead, check that out. If you'd like to see pictures and stuff like that of the whole contest, it is on there. But correct me if I'm wrong, you entered your yellow Neocardinas?
Yep.
All right. So overall, you didn't do too bad. We'll start with the first judges score tab, which is color. There was 3 judges. You got an 18, 16, and an 18 out of 20. So fairly good on color. One judge on all the scores was rather harsh. I prefer that, honestly, because if you're thinking of some of the scores of like ours towards the international, they're not quite on the same level. So we kind of wanted the scores to reflect the international judges' scores and stuff like that, so you knew what to work on and what to kind of strive towards and work again. So one of the judges was harsh, but he was like really harsh on some of them. So we'll be going over those, but not that bad for color. Them being yellows, they do lose a lot of color in transit. It is a little bit hard for them to kind of gain their color. We entered our yellow Neos into the Orlando category or Orlando contest for the very first one. They didn't have a lot of time to like stress out and shipping or anything like that. I drove them from point A to point B and threw them into the tank. So it was a lot easier for ours to color up and show their true potential. But 18 out of 2 judges, that's pretty good. And then leg color, the yellows don't really show a lot of leg color. So you got 8, 7, and 6. Definitely some room to improve on leg color, but I mean, that's with just about everyone's yellow neos. Like color isn't something you really hear about. Then uniformity, you got 18, 16, and then a 10. So I'm not sure if one of the judges didn't like the color yellow lined up, or maybe your backlines weren't the same size or something like that. But so a 10 means basically you could only find half of the shrimp or uniform, which you should be judging 3. Like, how is a 10 is a weird score for me, but 18, 16, that's not too bad. Um, Maybe you had half a shrimp that looked like one of the other shrimps, and the other half looked like one of the other ones. So that's how you got a 10. Then size 25, 26, and 15. So again, a little bit harsh. I thought the shrimp were decent size. But again, the one judge that was harsh on the bottom here with your score was harsh with like pretty much everyone's except for like the 3 people that placed. So difficulty, you got an 8, a 7, and a 5. Pretty much like the only difficulty thing that scored well with that judge was like the greens. The greens they looked pretty well. I don't think the greens were as big. I don't think they would place or do that well like in an international show. They're just too small. But that's what the greens won in that category, and I think they got the overall category score was the difficulty and judge's impression. Judge's impression is the last category. You got a 7, a 6, and a 4. So basically, my tips for these in the future would just be trying to grow them out, make them a little bit thicker, and maybe do some stress testing. Throw some shrimp in a container and see which ones lose the most color. Like a month beforehand, maybe pick your best 10, throw them in a cup, wait overnight, and which ones show the best color, those are going to be the ones that I would enter in the contest. Can't really do it with all shrimp, but Neocaridina, you for sure can tell which ones are going to hold up their color a little bit more. So,
Okay.
What's that?
That's a really good tip. I'm definitely going to have to try that.
Any other questions for the Neocaridina category before we move on?
No, I don't believe so.
All right. So category 2 was crystals. Category 3 was Taiwan bees. You didn't enter any shrimp in there. And then we have category 4. Now, we only had 2 people enter in this category. And Tim, you took home second place. Well, if you ain't first, you're last. That's how we live in this household. But you need to know you were like this close from winning. So it was super, super close. So I'm going to explain the judges' sheets for you. But I want to start off with the first judge didn't score you high enough. The second judge scored you higher, but the other judge scored you lower. So the point spread right there. One judge is the reason why. Because the other judge, you got the exact same score as the other shrimp. So all because one judge marked the difference between your 2 scores a little bit higher and you were the lower score in that one. You know what I mean? So in a different contest with different judges, you easily could have won first place in that category. So even though there's only 2 entries in that category, you scored high enough that you would have done all right in an international contest maybe as well. So I don't want you to be too upset about that. And by the way, I ended up taking those home. So even though I ended up losing some of yours, I got them back. So giving those another go. That they were worthy enough of coming home with me. So Shelby may have gotten the Snow Whites, but I got your orange-eyed blue body red tiger. So I'm super happy about that. So back to the scores. For color, you got a 16, a 15, and a 19. So this is really going to depend on the judge's knowledge of that shrimp. Did they know you were going for the blue body, or did they just think it was a red tiger? You know what I mean? Like, what are they going to consider of good color out of the shrimp? Did they grade it on color of overall shrimp in that category, or did they do it of color of that individual kind of shrimp? So where you got 15 and 16, I think they did it of overall shrimp overall. So if you had, a 20 would be a black tiger completely covered head to toe in purple coloring. A 19 would be a royal, an 18, so forth and so on until you got to where your shrimp isn't that colorful. But the one judge that gave you a 19, I think what he did was judge the color based off of that type of individual shrimp. So for the red tigers with the blue bodies, they were quite nice for that individual style of shrimp. Leg color, you got a 6, a 6, and an 8. For size, you got a 15, a 17, and an 18. So they could have been maybe a little bit bigger. I was quite happy with the size that they came home. You know what I mean? But when I considered the shrimp that I last entered in the tiger category myself, they're massive. And I personally know going into this next week's contest, Shelby's like, "What are you talking about? You got monster tigers. They're all over the house." I'm like, they're not monster though. Like I had some monsters that I entered into the last contest. So they're not as big as they possibly could have been. So maybe lacking if they had looked at some of the fancy tigers and boas. You're, I don't know. We'll get to them, but I don't know. I thought your Nanashi were pretty big too. I have those, but I'm going to be shipping those off to Papa Shrimp. He was not there on Sunday to help with the teardown, but he did help set up and stuff like that. So I am going to give him a hand and ship him out those shrimp.
So you getting the red ones or the purple?
The red one. I think Shelby took the purple.
Oh, okay.
Shelby does the most work at the contest, and if they're donated to volunteers, we had like 4 people that said they were going to show up on Monday, and Vibes was the only one that showed up. So I gave Vibes shrimp that I promised them for the giveaway, plus an extra bag for helping out with the contest. So, and Vibes, did you get a T-shirt? If I didn't give you a T-shirt, that's on me. I think I tried to get you a T-shirt, but they put them all away. I don't remember what all went down, but let me know. Crip, like if you wanted a T-shirt, you can send me the money and I'll grab you a T-shirt at the Daytona show if you can't make it. There were extra T-shirts, but when I had made it over there to go get them, they had already been boxed away and put on the truck first. And I was like, oh man, I would have grabbed some and just gave them to the contestants and stuff like that. So I would give them to volunteers if they could take care of them. Yeah. Oh. So yeah. But Vibes was looking for Neocarity, and I don't think Vibes was looking for Nanashi, and he's the other one. And so Killer Kitty with the $2 super sticker, appreciate it. Thank you very much. And then all right, so that is category 4. Any questions on that? It's so close. Like, don't feel upset that there's only 2 people in that category. I'm going into a contest where I know that I entered into categories that there was only 2 or 3 entries. So I'm probably going to get like a 3rd place or something like that. But at the end of the day, nobody else had the guts to enter the contest or thought that they had a chance at all at it. So you got to feel happy. You got beat by Ruben, who is like, I think he got Tiger of the Year last year. So the fact that it was a split decision, you should be proud of that for first place.
Oh, absolutely. So with that one tiger that I entered in particular, I scored pretty low on the legs. Is that one of the tigers that can get the spider legs, or is that one pretty much going to stay how it is?
So I don't know if they can get the spider legs, but you can definitely get the leg color blue. Like instead of the clearish color, you can definitely the blue body color can definitely go down into the legs. That's just such a hard shrimp to even, you know what I mean? For them to, on judges' impression, to give you a 6 for the, you know what I mean? the one judge that kind of messed you up with that score gave you a 6 for judge's impression, where that's kind of like the harder shrimp, but it's like, how much does that judge like that kind of shrimp, or they weren't that impressed by it. So it is one of those shrimp where that category is dominated by orange-eyed royal blues and orange-eyed black tigers, because it's so easy to match everything, but it's not easy to get that full coloration unless you have a good line of royals or a good line of black tigers. Then you still get the stripes, and then when you ship them and they stress out, you see those stripes before they color up by the time the judges get them. So do you have any other kind of tigers?
I got the Tangerine tigers that I just got a week ago.
Yeah, and those aren't going to cut it. Those won't. Those are a wild type, so there's no cross to them. So
yep,
that's the only downside with those. Where'd you get your Tangerine tigers from?
I got it from Nate the Shrimp Nut here in chat.
Oh, well, he might have gotten his from me, so they're probably a good line.
Yep.
I was going to say, like, you missed out on the best line out there, man. But if you got them from Nate, they're good. There's no culls in them jeans. So
yeah, he did say that they came from you originally.
All right. So Crown Tail Half Moon said, Crip, is this your first win entry? That's super awesome.
Yeah, first time entering and first time placing.
Yeah, so he entered 4 categories. He did place second in that category. Well, he placed in 3 categories, 4 groups, though. So that leads us to category 5, which is the hybrid category. Now, Crip, I got to say, this category is the hardest one out of all of them. The Neocaridina category is a rough one. It is a little bit hard just because it does get the most entries. I think both category 1 and category 5 had 11 entries. So category 5 does get up there. But there's just so much money that can go into some of the shrimp in category 5 that could put you way above the rest. Where Neocaridina, it's like anybody with $40 could get started with a nice group of shrimp and start entering into the contest the following year. So category 5 is pretty much dominated by the boas. It's very rare that like a fancy tiger or something like that will win. They are like a judge's favorite, but it's so hard for all of the dots, all the stripe, the headgear, the color, and everything to match on a fancy tiger. It's just a lot easier to do on a boa or a galaxy pinto or a snowflake or something like that. So because of that, the galaxies, they dominate that category. We are going to separate the category into we'll have galaxy pintos as one category, so that'll be snowflakes, galaxies, and boas, and possible German pintos into another category. But it'll be, instead of category 5, it'll be Tybes. So fancy tigers won't be competing against boas and galaxy pintos, and then galaxy pintos will be the other category. So maybe we'll have another category with others, and people with yellow King Kongs and stuff like that can enter, and it'll be dominated most likely by German pintos, because like what better hybrid out there than orange-eyed, which is its own category. So I think that splitting that up will get more entries from the contest, and it'll make competition a little bit better and stronger. But your Nanansi and stuff like that would still be going up against the Galaxy Pinto. So my only problem is, and I goofed, and maybe Shelby can help. Oh, nope, Shelby can't help. So tank number... All right. So 25, we do have your red Nanansi and then your purple Nanansi. Those are the 2 groups you entered, right?
Yep.
All right, so let's start tank 25 first. And those are going to be your red Nanansi. For color, we got 16, 15, and 14. So could maybe get a little bit stronger on the color and stuff like that. That could also be pattern though. Like if you wanted to think about like overall, you had some pretty basic Nanansi. Yeah, they weren't advanced. There wasn't any headgear. There was no backlines or anything like that. So that's why maybe you could have gotten some points off in that because you didn't have the right colors in the right spots. There isn't anything for like pattern in that category. So it kind of gets played into color just a little bit from a judge's perspective. Leg color 6, 5, and 6. So probably no spider legs or anything like that. Size 777 from all judges out of 10. So they were probably, two, 2.5 centimeters rather than 3 centimeters in size. Uniformity, you got 18, 17, and 6. So, two of the judges thought they were really good. One of the judges just not. But like the judge that marked down everything low, he marked down all the shrimp really low in this category, except for like the real good ones that might have actually done well in the international contest for that category. So difficulty 14, 15, and 10. And then the judge's impression was 12, 14, and 7. So you got two of the judges that are kind of a little lenient, and then you got one judge that is real like, all right, this shrimp is competing against the boas. It just doesn't have a chance, and the scores are reflecting on it. And that's basically what it was right there. So that category is super hard to place in if you don't have Galaxy Pintos for sure. So then we have tank number 26. These are your purple Nanashi. For color, you've got 15, 14, and 10. So I don't think the purple color was showing up at all, really, at the show. They kind of got stressed out. And then, like, size, you got 6, 7, and 5. Even, like, off of my head, I know those were relatively smaller than your other Nanashi. So they definitely got down in the size. Leg color was 6, 5, and 5. So probably not a lot of spidering or, if anything, on the legs. Uniform was 14, 17, and 5, which 5 and 6 on uniform is pretty low. So, and I was even curious if he knew it was out of 20 or out of 10, but there was other scores that were in the teens, so I know he was definitely scoring that based out of 20. He was just very harsh, and I told him to be harsh. I liked it. So, Shelby said, did user her 11-month membership chat to say kudos for Tim entering. DD. All right. I figured that out before it popped up. So hold on. I plugged in the laptop and everything and the plug, but I did not plug in the battery into the wall. So it's about to turn off. 1 second. All right. Sorry about that, but the stream is saved. I had a critical error warning, and the screen went very, very dull. So I was like, oh no, I better fix that. So I finished reading off all the scores.
Yep.
All right. So pretty much like my tip for that is wait till I split up the categories and then enter the Nanashi into the hybrids, and then you'll be competing against like German spot pintos. I would try to get some backlines. Like you have my blue backline tie bees, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Cross some of those with your Nanashi and make some advanced Nanashi, and
Okay.
then those would do well in the hybrid category.
Oh, okay.
But that's after I make the boas and galaxies into their own category and the safari fancy tigers and stuff like that into their own category. So, but yeah, man, I mean, for your first contest, I think you did quite well. You placed,
definitely.
Placed, and you gave Ruben a run for his money. So, Benjamin Peters said, Crip is such a good looking guy. I'd let him date my daughter if I had one. Any more questions for Crypt Keeper or anything like that? before we dive back into tonight's messed up deranged chat giveaway?
So I got something in the mail yesterday, I believe, or the day before yesterday it was. So I wanted to open that up. It had your name on the outside, so I knew it had to be something sort of exciting, hopefully.
I don't know how I almost forgot all about that. So Turtle Rides asked best Neos to enter for next year's contest. I think the greens are the best right now on the market to enter in the contest.
So I
If
got
I was, oh, back to you.
so I got some more food, and then I got my award. Super cool. Gonna be
Man,
hanging that in the shrimp room.
What did you get that in your mailbox?
It was in the mailbox.
Yeah. See how it's like crinkled up on the little end? It's because your mailman shoved it into the mailbox. Everybody's was perfect except for yours is Max's. And I was like, it had to have been your mailman. And Max is like, yeah, I think it's because he shoved it in there. And I even put the cardboard box in there to help prevent them from even trying, and they still do it. It's just they're lazy to get out of the truck. So sorry about that. But a lot of people have been telling me thank you for the food. But no, that is congratulations. If you would have gotten first place, you would have gotten a bag of Shrimp Envy Complete. Second place was our food, and third place was our food as well. So we donated it as a sponsor to the contest to make sure everybody that entered got a little something back other than a little paper award. So that was your prize. So congratulations, man. You earned it.
Thank you so much.
And June said, how do you feel about everything I said?
I think you're the expert and you know what's best, so I'll be taking all of your advice into consideration, and I'm definitely going to try to cross the back line with the Nanasi pattern.
Well, you might want to see how I do this weekend. I might not be as expert as I think.
No.
Then maybe wait, see who beats me, and then ask them all the right questions.
All right.
Get these thrown. All right, DD asks, what is Tim's shrimp that he wants to have for next year?
What is the shrimp that I want to have for next year? Well, there's quite a few different shrimp that I want to have. The main bucket list shrimp that I want is a red boa.
Yeah.
So in the future, at some point, I know I will get it. It's just a matter of when and figuring out who I want to get it from.
You can get some black boas, and then those will throw you some red boas. So
that's very true.
And then Toop Dog said green jades or yellowbacks. I like the green jades more than the yellowbacks. They're a little bit harder to breed. They can both grow of massive size and stuff like that. So if I were entering in the contest, I would do the greens. The emeralds or the green jades, it's really whichever ones you can get to grow bigger. The green jades do get bigger, but they're not as deep in coloration. So you got to take into the fact that the emeralds, they're all looking deep, dark, and nice. So it is a little bit easier to score. But like I mentioned with Nick Teeters, they just weren't as big as like the shrimp in the international contest. So they might not do as well as the green jades if you can get some real massively beastly sized green jades. So. And Nate the Shrimp Net said, just want to say, rat coming along nice, Tim.
Thanks.
Yeah, definitely is.
I've got his Tangerine tigers behind me off to my right. And then over here, I've got some assassin snails from him and some bristlenose plecos.
Very nice. So I think that's going to be it for us tonight, Tim. I will see you next week with a updated on whether or not I'm still an expert.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
No problem, man. Take care. All right. So that leads us into our final topic of discussion for tonight. And that is going to be me removing these headphones so I can actually breathe out of my ears and hear the bubbles to all my fish tanks once again. I feel normal. All right. No, the final topic for tonight's discussion is going to be this print that we are giving out. It is a Blue Dream shrimp painted by my buddy Paul Armstrong. He is another one of Aquacella's artists. Him and Sam, I've gotten to know pretty well through Aquacella. They helped set up the Aqua Crib, which is the entrance to Aquacella. You get the UV glasses. You get to walk through all these beautiful 3D artwork and stuff like that. Let me figure out a hashtag for this giveaway. Let me get to it. Hashtag dream. I'm a master at this now. Add the stream. Hashtag dream for the Blue Dream print. He was my neighbor for Aquacella in Dallas. I took home a green one myself, but we first purchased, I think this one is what we got. And then I was like, I didn't know the green one was there. I really want that one. We actually traded him for this one for some guppy grass. So didn't cost nothing out of my pocket, just something out of one of my ponds out back. But since I got the green one, I thought I'd like to share this blue one with y'all. It actually was Shelby's idea altogether. She wanted to give it away. I thought it was a great idea. So hashtag dream to get in on that. D's Fish Tank says, I have blue dreams, cherries, orange. What should I get next? I would say yellows, or I would get greens if those are your favorite color. Or you could get black rose or chocolates, because nothing's better than a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. You can get blue, red, orange, yellow, brown, wild. I don't know why I have the hiccups for the third time today, and that reminds me about the hiccup story now. You're all going to have to hear it. So when I was a kid in middle school, or maybe not, no, it was in high school, but earlier on when I was a kid in like elementary and middle school, all over the news there was this like story of a hiccup girl who always had the hiccups and every day had the hiccups, yada yada yada. But the way the news portrayed hiccup girl was that she had hiccups nonstop, that they never stopped. Well, then all of a sudden, hiccup girl gets announced that she's going to our school. She's in one of my classes. It's a big deal. We're all expecting her the following day to be there, and like this annoying person just hiccuping the entire time during class. And I can say that with all respect because we're in class and we're expecting hiccups and we're listening and nothing, no hiccups. And we're all going, what is this, fraud? Like what's going on here? Why is there no hiccups going on? Well, she had to explain that she doesn't have the hiccups all the time, but she gets the hiccups every day. And I lost it. I was like, that's bullshit. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Because in that class, we had lunch, and every day after lunch, because they only give you like 15 minutes to devour all of your lunch food, I would get the hiccups afterwards. And I would have to remove myself from class and go wait in the hallway until my hiccups would go away. Shelby can vouch for me. My hiccups are bad. They hurt. They're painful. They're loud. They're annoying. It sounds like I make them up and I'm trying to be obnoxious with them. But no, if I try to like depress the sound of my hiccups, it legitimately hurts. So I've been like dealing with this since I was a kid, not getting any attention or national news coverage or anything like that. And all of a sudden this girl's like, no, I just get them every day. And I'm like, so what? And she's like, what do you mean so what? I'm like, I get the hiccups every day, and they're bad. They're not even like little girly hiccups like you got. They're like legit. They attack me. And so yeah, that she wasn't in my class for very long, thankfully. So I don't have to deal with that. But couldn't believe it. So yeah, I get attacked by hiccups all the time because my dad was a child of 6, and I guess if you wanted to have seconds, you had to scarf all of your food down. And the same thing in my house. My mom only make enough food for like 3.5 people, so I got the hiccups a lot. But no attention at all. All right, so hashtag dream. We are giving away a blue dream print, not just ranting about hiccups. Benjamin Peters says, please show the print again slowly. Oh, I'm sorry, without glare. I will try. I can't see it, so it's like I don't have Shelby here to like take away. It's just a stable blue dream. I don't know the whole technical advances that Shelby does where she dims the computer screen so that way I'm not going to try. I'm just going to mess stuff up. So I did it. I don't know why I said I'm not going to try and then tried. But that should look better for you guys. If not, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. And if it's bad, then Shelby should just do this on her own when she's feeling better. Because unless it's about hiccups, I got nothing else to talk about. I am going to have to increase the brightness because I can't read that now. All right. Abstract Aquatics. What do you know about the Florida red belly cooter turtle? I don't know much about it at all. I didn't know we had any red bellies here in Florida. I know we have yellow bellies, and we have an issue with red ear sliders from people releasing them all over the place. But I didn't know we had red bellies. I know we got chicken turtles, we got gopher tortoises, we got box turtles. I didn't know about no red belly cooter turtles. So you know more than me. Sorry. I don't know what kind of site you have or what the deal is, but you could reach out to us at the Garden of Eden with what kind of plans or what you're trying to do, and I'll talk with Shelby about it. So possibly. Crypt Keeper says it's going to be okay, Grant. We're here for you. Vent to us all about your hiccup frustrations. We don't want to talk about shrimp anymore. No, I got it out. That's it. The hiccups are done. They just attack me all the time for no reason. And my kids, they inherited hiccup issues as well. Poor things. And then Nate said Layla's drawing was an awesome one too. She did a really good job. So I wanted to do 3 giveaways today and give away one of Layla's, but this one was mine. I'm keeping it. I'm not giving it to nobody else. And then the other ones, she's been trying to do other things, and then the proportions just haven't been on point. And I'm 100% for critiquing your kids and letting them know when something is not good enough or up to standards and that they should change it, and that it's not that she can't do better, it's that she can do better. She just needs to think of those characteristics and stuff when she's doing her next one. So I didn't push her to do anything. She's a kid living it up on spring break, and we had the whole neighborhood at our house at one point today. So she's having a lot of fun, not worrying about drawing stuff for the live streams. But eventually, I will get her to draw up some prints, and I don't know if we'll start selling them or what, but I'm sure eventually we'll get to it. All right, what is a chicken turtle? I believe it's like a cross between like a yellow belly slider and a red eared or something like that. It's like a hybrid turtle. I'm not sure, but they are a thing, and they are in Florida. I have caught them here locally. Shelby caught one. I caught one, I think. So here in Florida, but they don't look like a chicken. They look like a yellow belly slider with like cool stripings on the face. I don't know if y'all heard, but hashtag Dream, we're giving away this a blue Dream print here. So you want to get in on that. We only have 52 of you all entered out of 79 people that are watching. Give that away here in another 10 minutes. What about the Florida red belly cooter? I got mine from Florida. I have no idea. I don't know what the person was trying to find out or know. Uh, I'm sure, generally speaking, all turtles are for the most part the same on care and stuff like that, on needing a large enough environment and diet and must have the UV bulbs and stuff like that. So, make sure you're replacing your bulbs every 6 months to a year, depending on what kind of bulbs you have. What's going on, Matt? All I heard is week after week you don't use the Florida. Listen, can you send Shelby the link for it? Because I think she tried to find it or tried to use it, and it was more complicated than it should have been. So I think that's on you, Matt. I'm too old to be trying to figure out this new technology you want to be throwing my way. I'm ready for the slot machines and, retirement, playing bingo and stuff like that, not trying to figure out new giveaway tools. I'm lucky I figured out the one for tonight. Killing me. When can I buy non-cull emeralds from you? Right now, email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com. As long as you have PayPal, we can take those orders right away. If you don't have PayPal, we can arrange for you to purchase something off of the website that is the same price, and then we just ship out the emeralds instead of whatever you bought at the same price. So they will be $6 a piece and $15 for shipping. So emerald non-culls and green jades are available. We just won't be shipping them out until next Tuesday probably. So, all right. They get huge. What gets huge? I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Oh, the turtles probably. So yeah, we've had quite a few different turtles. We have our diamondback terrapins. We have one yellow belly slider turtle that I have been babysitting now for 7 years. That can go home any day now. I don't know. You never know. We have the Mata Mata. We have one razorback musk turtle, one common musk turtle, and then the 7 diamondback terrapin or the ornates. So let's go. We got 8 more minutes to the giveaway. Somebody hit me with some questions. Lady Diane laughing at me playing bingo. My grandma loves some bingo. I played some Maine bingo halls back in my day. Somewhere, I think I still have my grandma's bingo stampers. Vibe said, I want to print a Layla's to add to my collection. Here's some encouragement. Well, I definitely think Layla is down for requests. So if y'all want a Layla print, email us at thegardenofemail@gmail.com. Well, Shelby has just pulled it up right now. By the way, round of applause for Shelby. An hour and 45 minutes into the stream, and she's still in there cranking out these comments left and right. So she's about to tap after I said that, though. So maybe take back a couple of those claps. All right. But yeah, no, she's doing great. But email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com. And we are taking requests now, I guess, for Layla to draw you something. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see how many requests we get. But it doesn't have to be shrimp either. She likes all different animals to be drawn. So I think sloths are her favorite animal, but I don't think she draws very many sloths. Brandon, Shelby's Facebook hasn't been buried yet. Oh, fish bones. Okay, yeah, Facebook. Yeah, we have not made any baby announcements as of lately, Brandon. So the Galaxy fish bones. You forgot a G there. The Galaxy Fishbones haven't been buried yet. I threw some boas in with them, and they got buried. So I think I didn't get any females. Was adding the boas a good idea? Um, they're the same genes, and if you had black boas and you want red boas, Shelby's Galaxy Fishbones are good enough quality and genetic lines that you can get some red boas out of those. So if that's something you're looking forward to, if you're looking for some more of Galaxy Fishbones from Shelby, reach out to us. I can hook you up with a deal on some more juveniles. But it is possible that they haven't grown up to size yet, and you need to get a little bit more girth to them before they produce any babies. What's my least favorite shrimp? I mean, I would have to say the ghost shrimp, and that's why we really don't keep any or Romanos because you can't breed them. I never really thought about least favorite shrimp. How to get rid of duckweed. All right, the best way that I have found to get rid of duckweed, looking at a tank that I just recently got rid of all the duckweed out of it, is to take a small net and go around the tank and for 3 or 4 days just tackle the duckweed and get rid of it. Every little bit and piece that you possibly can. And then, once you get a good half a net full or so, tap the net out outside into the trash or something like that, get all the duckweed off, rinse it, and every single day start with a brand new clean net and get out as many pieces as you can. You want to avoid doing water changes because anytime you do a water change with the duckweed, the water level is going to drop and so is the duckweed. And if you have any plants that are in the middle of the water column or sponge filters or any kind of decor in the tank, there are going to be little bits and pieces of that duckweed that is going to get stuck and trapped there, and then they're going to produce little offshoots and keep your tank seeded with duckweed for time to come. So make sure you get it all before you do a water change, and then you should be able to get it all out of there no problem. I also like to make sure that I rub a sponge or something around the tank to get rid of all those little tiny bits of like dried duckweed. Duckweed comes back with vengeance, and for whatever reason, the ones that are dehydrated and you think they're gone, they still find a way to like seed and produce new babies. So get rid of all the ones on the rim of the tank as well. Zoltan said, what would be a good shrimp food to mix with my orange-eyed red lapis? Oh, a good shrimp, not a good shrimp food. So orange-eyed red lapis is already incredible by itself. I would try and focus and line breed them to get some red devils. But you could cross them with some orange-eyed black tigers, get some orange-eyed black lapis or blue lapis. Honestly, there's so many different things that you could cross. If you're trying to stick with orange eye, stay with something else orange eye, because you cross something that doesn't have orange eye, you're going to lose that gene in the first generation. It can come back, but it's going to be a lot of culling, and most of the shrimp aren't going to be as pretty right off the rip. So I would stay with some type of other orange-eyed hybrid. You could do orange-eyed yellow King Kongs. Those breed like crazy, and they're super hardy. You can get a lot of different varieties out of that mix as well. Some orange-eyed red steels possible and stuff like that. All right. Anything else? We got 1 minute until the giveaway. Hashtag dream. We are giving away. Nope, not that. That's mine. Sorry. We are giving away this print by Paul Armstrong. All the glares there. Sorry. I'm not going to dial down the screen intensity on the brightness again. I know I do it twice. I'm going to mess something up. So, Fish Frenzy Addiction asks, can you feed Rapashi gel foods to Neo or Caridina shrimp? Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of shrimp breeders and keepers out there that feed the Rapashi shrimp food, the bottom scratcher, the wood, the morning wood. There's a lot of interesting names to those food lines, and for the most part, majority of them are good for shrimp. Shrimp will eat anything that is dead, dying, decaying, or on the way out even. So just make sure it doesn't have copper in it, and it'll probably be a good food. I don't like the rapashi foods myself because you got to cook them, and we don't have a lot of kitchen space as it is. So I like to save it for making our meals and stuff like that. Not cooking for the critters. One day we'll have a kitchen, and maybe Tim Crypt Keeper will run the kitchen for the animals, and the nighttime will cook for the family. Dreams, people, dreams. All right. Tim says pros cons to using flake fish food to feed shrimps. Listen, I know it's a one-man show, but it's gonna have to be. I need you to get out of here. You're knocking shrimp nets off of tanks now. Come on, get it. Go on. Go. Sorry. Got this big horse trying to enter into the live stream. But I like using the flake food for the ponds outside. The benefit is it gets a lot of little tiny bits of pieces of food to all of the shrimp, where some of the shrimp envy foods, you feed them to some of them beast outsides, and the biggest shrimp in the colony is going to go run and grab a piece of food and then run off with it and not let any of the other shrimp. I'm sorry, Shelby. Let me just talk about this Crypt Keeper question, and then I'll do it, all right? Bring it back up there, or else I'm going to forget. And so I like to feed that outside, but the downside is it does pollute the water. If all the food isn't eaten, it gets absorbed into the water column, unless you're feeding filter, fan feeding the bamboo shrimp with the little filter feeder hands. Those, need dirty water, but the Caridina shrimp, the Neocaridina shrimp themselves, they need pristine water, so no pollutants or anything like that. And then with the tubs outside, there's such a large water volume that I'm not worried about it. With the tanks inside, I feel like whenever I was feeding powdered foods and stuff like that, I had more issues with blackbeard algae, more issues with hair algae, more issues with blue-green cyanobacteria and stuff like that. So I stopped feeding powdered food, stopped feeding flake food, and a lot of those issues started to go away. And now your baby survival rate might go up a little bit with powdered foods, but I think it's going to go down a lot if you have hair algae and other stuff growing in the tank. So I would feed it, but very, very small amounts, and maybe feed it, once a month or after a big baby boom or something like that, rather than as a regular feeding. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. All right. It's time. Hashtag dream. Last chance. We've got 56 people entered for the blue dream print. All right. Last chance. Here we go. Sorry, I've been talking too much tonight. 7 more minutes, and then I'll be heading out of here. Congratulations, Yellowstone Aquatics. Wow. Man, he's been one of the originals since the very beginning. Glad to see you win this. Congratulations. Email us at thegardenofeater@gmail.com and just remind me what your address is, or feel free to message me on Facebook. For those that don't know, the best way to reach out to us is on Facebook. I am a lot more active on there. I do try to check my emails every night or every morning, but throughout the day and stuff like that. If you had an emergency, reach out to me on Facebook, and I'd be more than happy to help you all out. We'll have stickers this week. We'll be emailing those out. So if you do have the 1 year, like Nano did, where you have the super chat, throw those up, and we'll get out your special surprise for those. We have a little bit of a moving sale going on the website, where a lot of the shrimp on the metal racks have been marked down, so it makes it a little bit easier for us to ship out. And then just because we're going to North Carolina and then Pennsylvania, and we won't be shipping out on Saturdays, all of the shrimp for the next 2 weeks on the website will be buy 10, get 3 free, to make up for any wait. Any orders that are placed tonight and tomorrow, we will probably try to get out on Wednesday before we ship out, but no promises. We will be catching a lot of fish, some shrimp, a lot of snails, and then packing up a lot of plants. We'll be doing things a little bit differently this time. We're going to set up some tanks and put some of the plants in display to kind of show off how nice they are. It doesn't make a lot of sense when they're in the bags and you can't see how high quality the plants are when we're charging maybe $1 more than the booth next to us. So we got reasons for that, and we'll be able to display that, showcase that a little bit easier. We ordered another light, like what we got to display the shrimp, to display the plant. So I'm really looking forward to the show. And then, giving Shelby a break, because all the Aquashellas and a lot of these other shows, I've got so much other stuff going on that doesn't have anything to do with the booth, that I'll be able to focus and man down the fort and let Shelby enjoy the show. As long as I get to walk around and see the North Carolina, the Aquatic Expo, at least once, I'll be happy. And then Shelby get out there and see things. We'll also have the kids with us. So, looking to see if I can't do a couple things with the kids running around, seeing what they got at the kids zone and stuff like that. I'm sure the kids will want to get their faces painted one of the days. But I'll be looking for any of the locals who got any good food recommendations and anything like that. Make sure to let us know. Thursday night, we'll be riding up to Lucas Brett's house. We'll be hitting the roads in his van, since everything will fit all right in his van and not have to be crammed in and have no room for the ride. Just barely everything fits in our little car with the kids. And I think even so, on the way up to Lucas's house, they're going to have stuff on their laps and stuff like that, which isn't going to be comfortable for an 8-hour trip, but not that bad, just cruising up to Lucas's house. So, any last questions before we sign off tonight? Christy said, do you have photos on Facebook or convos? And looking for a great South Carolina chat page. It's just photos on the Facebook page. We do have a genetics group and stuff like that. Not a lot of convos, but I do encourage it. If anybody had any genetics questions or anything like that, we have the Garden of Eder Shrimp Breeding and Genetics Facebook group. I'd be more than happy to break down and answer anybody's questions down there as well. So besides that, though, if you had any questions or need any help, you can just reach out to me, message me on Facebook. I'd be more than happy to help. I think that just about covers it all for the questions and everything this week. Big thanks to Paul for treating us for the Blue Dream print. Pumped it really hard, and it didn't do it at first. There was a little delay on the cutout, but huge thank to Sam for donating the print and giving this out to the channel. If you're not subscribed to Sam Scales, I should have probably had Crypt Keeper pull up this link beforehand, but at Crypt, if you can, drop Sam Scales YouTube channel in. I think Sam needs more subscribers to make it onto the Orlando Creators Show that Brian Barclaw posts, Animal Con. So try to help out Sam get his subs up. His artwork and traveling and stuff like that gets him to do a lot of cool things in the hobby, and he likes to show reels and videos and stuff like that. So he definitely has some interesting stuff going on there. And then, like I mentioned, thank you, Shelby, even though she couldn't be up here tonight, pulled up all these comments, questions, and links and everything like that. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Crypt Keeper. You two are legends. Thank you guys so much for helping out with the links and chat and channel and everything like that. I think that's going to be it for this week. Next week, we will be going over our trip to North Carolina. Hopefully, Shelby is We got Scotty. Don't forget to register for the Keystone Clash. I was going to do that in person with you next week. Thought that would be a fun little activity for us to do. But which shrimp are still on the moving list? So red steels, fancy tigers, Tybes, tang ties, yellow King Kong hybrids, yellow King Kongs, green tiger culls, mixed pintos. There should Galaxy pintos. There's a lot. So pretty much anything on the website that has been reduced in price is on the moving sale, and everything is buy 10 get 3 free. So a lot going on. Good deals on the website. Not a lot of inventory left on all the shrimp that aren't on the moving sale. So trying to catch back up on numbers. A lot of the house is doing well. And then after the international contest, I will be selling some of the shrimp that I've been holding back for that. So you are no Shelby, Mr. Grant, but you gave it a good try. Yeah, next week will be better. Shelby should be fully rested. I promise not to work her too hard, Matt. And she should be at full strength for next week's live. Be better. I think having ice cream would be more fun. Register before then. You're right, Scotty. You're right. The Crypt Keeper said he just had Ben and Jerry's s'mores ice cream. It was great. Did you put your jalapeno pepper caramel on top of it? And channel members get 10% off. I didn't know that. All right, guys. So till next week, y'all keep it simple and stay on top of your water changes and think about buying some tanks at the $1 per gallon show. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Later, y'all.